going on, everybody? It's Crispy Divine, Essential Mass Vapors, here again to share something with you. So lately, I've been kind of like in the middle of using a bunch of different tanks. I mean, obviously, we all do, right? But one of the things that I've always been bummed about is that, how do I put this? Well, I'm obsessed with like rebuildable atomizers, right? And dripping. And for a little bit there, I was kind of like concerned with myself because that's all I would do. And I had my K funds and my tanks and stuff, but I very rarely use them. Well, I mean, I'd have them in rotation, but it wouldn't be my constant go-to. But then all of a sudden, I seen a product come out. Well, a couple different products came out that kind of piqued my interest. Is there a place for lower wattage, type of devices? For those people, like, does it speak to the market of the experienced vapor, right? Because we all know that somebody that is new to vaping isn't going to want to go out and run out and buy like a 100 watt mod. Well, I guess some people would, but you know what I'm saying. So when companies like Inokin or eLeaf come out with these 20-watt devices, are they gearing it towards somebody who's been vaping for 3 years, or are they vaping it to the newcomer? But I think that brings up a little bit of a misconception that every vapor is looking to jack up their wattage, right? So for me, being the type of person that enjoys every single type of vape and knows that each and every little piece to our little puzzles has a place for it, to me, the answer was simple, that of course it has a place for it. And of course, by looking at, the popularity of things like the iStick or the eGrip, it's clear to me that there is definitely a place for it within the experienced vapors or the newbie vapors or whatever. So I was thinking like, well, how can I use it? But what I've seen a lot of people, posting stuff, and what they were using it for was like throwing on something like a K-Fun or one of the Lemo or Limos or whatever, a Nautilus Mini. And I was like so psyched for that, because somebody like me who has mostly, I have like mechanical mods, and I have like the Sigeli 100 watt or my dual box sets, whatever. I was thinking, shit, is it, I hate to put something like a K-Fun on there, knowing that I'm not using what it can do. So having something like the iStick is beautiful because it's designed and made to do what it's doing right now. So I don't really have, it's like almost like it takes away that stress that I have when I look at something and I think, oh my God, like for instance, if I have the Sigeli 100 watt, right? And I'm looking at it and I have like a Nautilus at like 16 watts or something, which is a great vape, by the way. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm totally wasting what this bad boy can do. It's like getting an iPhone and only using it for making phone calls. And that may not be like the best way to think of it, but in my weird tech mind, like I have that that idea that you can't, you don't want to use something for something that could be used for a bunch of different things and only use it for the less of it. I don't know if that makes much sense. It does in my head, which we all know is a little nutty. But you comment in the description or comment down below if you understand what I'm saying. Do you look at something and say, oh, that's a great thing, but I could be using it for this, like it's not being used for what it can be pushed to do. And not to say that I over push anything, because I don't really do that, but like for instance, 100 watt, I generally don't even go over like 70 watts, and I have the 150 watt coming, but not so much because I'm looking to get the 150 watt power, but one, I want to compare the two, see if the upgrades and everything like that is flawless, and two, because the idea of it is that when you have a big range from like 0.1 to 3 ohms and 10 watts to 150 watts, there's so many different variations of ohms and watts and volts and all that stuff that you can throw onto this thing, so it's fun to play around with. So anyway, back on track. So I picked up this iStick. I was looking for a pretty cheap price, and I don't generally like price hunt, but I didn't want to like drop like, I seen it for like 40, 50, 60 bucks, whatever. I don't know if I seen it that high, but anyway, I was on this website called gearbest.com. I don't know if you guys have ever heard about it. It's a website. I would say it reminds me kind of like a fast tech type idea. Like they import everything, so when you place the order, you're going to wait. And I have never placed an order on Fast Tech or Angel Sigs or any of those companies. So I was a little bit leery because I'm just the type of person that wants it then, right? But I ended up jumping in and I said, you know what, screw it, I'm going to do it. So I did it. I paid like $32 for it. And of course, the day after I bought the thing, I could see other places popping up with the similar prices. So I kind of was like, ugh. Well, anyway, I ordered it in like the November 25th, I think. And I didn't get it until like, what was it, like 2 days before Christmas or something like that. And it was so irritating. Like any of you vape mailers out there that wait for their stuff and track their stuff and like hit refresh, waiting for that freaking mail to change, my pain. It didn't update until like probably like 2-3 weeks before it shipped to me, and it just said it was in New York, and then it still took like 3 weeks to get to me. But anyway, let's just talk a little bit about it. I immediately, when I took this thing out of the box, I was intrigued. Okay, this thing is so tiny. I mean, look at how big this is. I mean, that is so small. And I know this isn't the newest product, and they're already probably coming out with newer ones. I think I seen a 50-watt one coming. But instantly, I was completely intrigued by it. Like I said, it's so little, so comfortable in your hand. They get a little bit of a rattle, but that's pretty normal. A lot of these devices have that weird rattle. I'm not really sure why they can't get that rattle out of there, but like it reminds me of like Anakin's VV 3.0 when I had that. So anyway, that right there alone is not a big deal. Doesn't matter. So the button is freaking awesome. It doesn't protrude out that much, and it's nice and clicky. It doesn't, it feels good in your hand. The two up and down buttons, as you can see, little triangles, pretty simple, simple and self-explanatory. It's got the USB bottom, so very simple there. Again, this thing goes all the way up to 20 watts, right? So you're getting me like 5 more watts from like my VTR and the Vamo ideas or whatever. You're giving me a super sleek design. The At first I was a little concerned because I could see how this the connection where you put your atomizer in is off to the right, so it's not in the middle, which isn't a big deal or anything obviously, but it does hang off the sides a little bit. But that doesn't bother me actually at all, and it kind of, for some weird reason, does add to the design of it, for whatever reason. So this right here can read ohms all the way as low as 1 ohm, all the way up to I think 3 ohms. I could be wrong on that. This ain't Bill Nye the Science Guy, so So that is kind of tricky too. I mean, for somebody like me, it's like I wrap so many coils. Generally, I'm wrapping them under an ohm for my RDAs. So, figuring out the best variation of coils and wraps and diameter and all that stuff for a higher ohm, and to really play around with it to make it, the best. It wasn't hard, of course, but it's, it takes a little bit of time. So, and it's been a while since I've wrapped a K-Fund. So I actually wrapped this K-Fund at 1.6 ohms. I got it running at 4.9 volts at 15.5 watts. And it's really, I mean, it's really impressive. Very cool little feature on this thing, which is funny because when I first seen it, I was like, "What's the big deal?" But it shows you how long you're vaping. I believe it stops at 10 seconds, which I've tested out. It absolutely does stop, I believe, at 10 seconds. So that's kind of cool. It does have a bunch of protections as far as the atomizer. It does have like a heat sensor, like so it'll stop, like, or it'll read like HHHH or something like that. There's a bunch of little ones. So basically, when you use it, you're going to be using it and being like, safety first type thing, right? When you're going up and down, you can actually press the button and hold it down, and it'll actually go up for you. Like, and I think I seen a post online about that, and someone thought it was broken, but, and who knows, maybe it is, but I don't think so, because for me, it's been working great. You press the button, it's kind of like when you're driving in the car and you press the window up and it goes up by itself. Same idea. You click it again, it stops. It's perfect. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's just such a good, nice little thing. I could totally see why people go out and buy one or two of these things, or like more than one, I should say, because I had ordered one for Amanda and I charged it for her, and she basically she didn't come home until the next day or something, and I used it, one with a K Fun and one with a Orchid on it, and it was like the best, you know, because it's something that you can throw in your pocket, not feel, you know, bad about. I mean, even like carrying something like the Nemesis is small, but with an Atlantis on it, it's pretty big, you know. So battery life, unfriggin' believable. I got a half a battery on this right now, half a charge, and I've had it for like 2 days, I think, on that. Now, granted, I'm not using this like chain vaping on it on this one, but that's the other part of the great thing about it. It's like if you're somebody like me who has, you know, like, you know, your setups with your RDAs and stuff, and that's your primary one, and you use this for like, when you go out to the store. I mean, I was like getting all my stuff together in a bag just to go to the store. It's like now I just take this. It's so convenient. But the battery's gonna last a while. But even if you're change vaping, 2600 mAh battery, kind of like the MVP, it's got a nice battery life. Great little device. I'm so excited for this little thing, and as much as I know, I seen that they had a 50 watt coming out, and of course, me being the little tech junkie would make me want to grab one of them. But I don't know. I don't know if to me it would make much sense. I mean, the 20 watt I got because I can specifically use it for what I need it for, like the K funds or the orchids, a tank. It does come with an ego adapter, so you can rock your Clearos on it. Which it's funny because I still have this one. This is my last iClear 16D that I have. And as much as I hate the idea, I don't know if I'll buy another one. But I do have like these cardo tanks. Like I have a couple of these, and I do have one more cartomizer, and I think I'm gonna throw something in it tonight because one, I love those little things, and it's just something that more I could put on this. So anywho, I taste. Hello, the iClick by eLeaf is a freaking amazing, affordable little gadget, and I really think anybody out there that is looking for something that is sleek and nice design and works well and very stealthy, and you're not looking to have like an 18350 battery that you can drip on, grab one of these. You can put a bunch of different things on it. I've seen people dripping on this. Personally, me, I wouldn't do it, but you absolutely can. I mean, it's not going to give you a ton of power, but hey, wrap that coil a special way and rock it all the way up to 20 watts, and you're gonna get something out of it. So anywho, that's all I got for today. I know I'm a little bit behind on these things. I know I'm not, the trendsetter here, but I really like this thing, and I think that for anybody that's getting into vaping, for anybody that has been vaping, and for anybody who is, vaping hard now and looking for something that's a little bit less, bam in your face, this is going to be perfect. Your mother could use this. People like, your grandmother could like rock this thing. Put it in her purse, her wicker purse, like Sophia from the Golden Girls. Why not? So. All right, everybody, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to give you guys a nice little vape, and we're going to get going. Stay tuned for more from Crispy Divine Essential Mass Vapors. My website is coming along, and I have an announcement for the winners of the Which City Vapors contest from my YouTube channel, or for this channel. And I got much more to come. So stay fabulous, keep vaping, subscribe, like, and share, and I love y'all.